僕は向こう側からやってきた。
Hello and welcome to another modelling video. This is Alan from the Makona Man at YouTube with another model video. Today we're going back to 1980 and experiencing Bandai's very first Gundam model kit. The 1/144 scale no grade RX-78. Reboxed many times over and now released as the new Bandai Spirits. Post 2024 blue logo, still at the original 300 yen price, gifted to me by a workmate and customer from his trip in Japan. In the box we are greeted with two mint green white runners. The kit is injection moulded in polystyrene, covered in a plastic bag, traditional isometric hand-drawn instructions with a lot of Japanese and squiggly lines, striking vintage art and a colour scheme that promotes painting on the runners before assembly. This was the recommended and traditional way of doing the hobby back in the day. You will require a full complement of tools and consumable products. Being non-graded pre-90s, it is not snap fit, even though you can see pegs and butt connecting joints. The method involves double cutting the parts with nippers, trimming the nub and connecting, utilizing plastic cement to glue and melt the two parts together, forming a very visible seam that is covered in putty and sanded back several hours to a day later. Taking note of articulated points. The old method would be pulling the part by hand or nail clippers and using super glue and hand paint, enamel paint, not worrying about the seams. We will be taking a much more modern approach, even though it's been practiced for many decades. Nothing in this video is particularly hard. With vintage kits becoming more popular, I highly recommend giving it a go, especially if you are into the aesthetic. It can be a bit tedious and very time consuming with all the layering of parts. For example, starting at the limbs, we have to glue the forearm, the lowest point of the tree, to clip it, clean it, glue it, putty it and sand it, which is a 24-hour turnaround before we can put the next layer. Two sets of limbs can take 2 to 3 days, with the torso going over it and extra bits and pieces, head, arms, whatnot. Depending on the putty you are using, it may sink and will require a few layers of putty and sanding. I like to heap it on quite a bit. And for the fastest results, rock a 100 something grit and work my way down to about 400 to 600, mostly focusing on 280, 300. Once you have good sanding technique, old kits are very easy. You also have to be very considerate of the joints and do test fitting multiple times. Sometimes it's just not engineered very well, or there's extra flash or material. Like this head, the inner seam can catch on the outer part of the neck and jam up. You'll have to go back and file and sand all the inner parts to be quite smooth, sandwich the torso around, pivot and play with the articulation, and keep doing so until you're happy before committing to glue. Gluing it together, you do not want to have any of it seeping anywhere near the joint or it will completely seize up. And something that I don't exercise too often is making it more looser than harder, as paint will stiffen things up, and I've lost some of the use of the joints after painting. It's not a standardized tolerance and it's different from kit to kit, Xeon all the way to the mobile armors. Each is a different challenge and you get a fresh experience with every model among the first Mobile Suit Gundam 0083 line. Of course, some are easier than others. The RX-78 is a trickier one, especially the colours. Also, you have to trim the beam saber just to fit in the backpack, which is wild. The shield handle broke after painting and the head won't pivot. I've done a no-grade RX-78 before and decided to go for the MSV RX-78-1 scheme, black-white for touch of red. Each of the plastic surfaces was buffed and sanded for maximum adhesion with 6 to 1000 grit sandpaper, broken down as much as possible for colour separation and added to alligator clips ready for spraying. I am using a Haosheng mini hobby compressor with a 0.5mm Neo Eco trigger airgun, spraying automotive grade primer at about 12-13 psi, thinned to a water viscosity using slow drying automotive lacquer thinner. My filling and sanding was extremely effective and successful with no faults found, and can move straight to painting. For a brick, the RX-78 is very painful to design and mask off, especially the first one. This is traditionally meant to be hand painted, and I've opted for a much easier scheme, avoiding white and yellow. Notoriously hard colours to paint and layer. I'll use silver as an undercoat. However, I want to do 3 tones of gradient shading. Starting with the red, too much and easy to mask off. I built up those areas with a darker brown, a middle and lighter red colour, with a 0.3mm needle double action airbrush, with professional automotive masking tape, a whole roll of proper Japanese washi paper masking tape. Being big, it was stupid cheap. Cut each piece to tiny strips and carefully laying them among the panel lines. It was time consuming and very tedious. For the base colours, I'm opting for metallics, metallic black and silver. I recently had the Mr. Hobby GX metallic black topped up, which happened to be a paint I ordered, which was a graphite colour for a family's car touch-up project, and applied it across the whole model in a single wet coat, no shading, relying on the pigment and gloss sheen to invite visual awe and interest in definition. Articulated points needed to be exercised to get into every nook and cranny, allowed to dry and cure for a couple of days. Then the process is repeated all over again for another coat. You'll notice really awkward parts such as the raised cross on the shield and the square lumps around the skirt are left last, as raised detail and areas is the trickiest to wrap up in tape. Lower areas with rounder surfaces not squared or harsh are much easier. Regardless, there were some tricky bits, got through it in a few sessions and very gently sprayed silver at a exact 90-degree angle, hovering over with very light dust coats in a few sweeps to avoid over buildup of paint and seeping or leaking under the tape. Allowed to soften and dry, all of it was removed, again also very successful result. With the tape all removed and a fine tip brush with some hobby paints, all of the finer details were painted, such as the V around the crutch logo and facial details. For definition, I used Tamiya panel line accent colour, thinned with gum turpentine and sludge washed everything to capture every bit of raised detail and panel. It glides beautifully and excess strips off on very glossy and metallic surfaces, naturally pulling into all of the crevices and panels. It is a very easy process. Finishing off with a few coats of gloss clear. I was a little bit too heavy with the lacquer one, which melted slightly with the base coat. This was a quicker middle project, though quite challenging due to its awkward proportions and build. Not Bandai's first mecha or humanoid robot kit, but definitely not one of their better ones. It is a bit weaker compared to the entire line. The Xeon suits are a far more enjoyable and aesthetically pleasing popular line than this one, though the nostalgia and iconic features does stand out as the oldest mascot of the company and line. The finish isn't too polished, a bit funky on the shield, but decent enough to display and call it a finished piece. I do wish I shaded the metallics more, because it is a bit on the flat side and almost toy-like, but dig it far more than if I just went for black, dark greys whites and light greys. Overall, without the canonized red, yellow, blue, white, I do like this quite a bit and pretty pleased with it. As far as a Federation and Gundam design goes, I do very much highly recommend this kit or the line, definitely more so the Zeonic ones. They are readily available, they are incredibly cheap, and it is fantastic to learn about other aspects of the hobby, from hand painting, filling seam lines, modifying, airbrush, hand painting, spray can, masking, anything that you need to learn. It's the perfect guinea pig and test piece. When you come across one, grab it, as there is gaps in between their releases. I hope you enjoyed this video. The editing and building of the model was quite a bit of work, so if you feel inclined, I'd very much like a comment, like, share, any sort of interaction. I wanted to give the full build experience documented in video form. Thank you very much for watching, and as always, until next time, stay tuned for further content, and we'll catch you guys next time. Be sure to check out the description section for references and social media links. Catch you later. Bye.